All right. We did hear from the city of Morgan City, so we're going to go ahead to the St. Mary Levee District, St. Mary Levee District.
Hey, okay. Just an update. We are just about complete with our Bayou Teche project, which is on the west end of the parish. And we will soon be putting out to bid the last piece of that protection, which is the Yoakley extension. So it would basically put from Sherrington Canal back to Wax Lake Outlet, it'll put a complete ring system around that. We're very close, put it that way. You know, the rain and stuff that we've gotten in the past few weeks has really opened our eyes to some of the other things that are going on as well in the parish. And a lot of it has to do with drainage and not really in our realm of what we take care of, but we are working with everyone to try to get those problems taken care of. Back here on the east end, Bayou Shane project, the barge has 2 more sections to be added to it. And the entire thing will be, you know, assembled to the extent it is right now. There's lots of other things that need to go on for it. The flood wall at the project is in place. They have begun starting the work that's in the middle of the channel that blocks off, well, that the barge sits on, basically. So that project is moving along great. We are looking to be pretty close to being complete sometimes in September, October of this year, which is great news. Hopefully the water is going down and there won't be a need for any emergency structures or anything like that. So we're very fortunate this year for that matter. I know there's been you know, some flooding and things like that that have gone on, you know, north of us in the Stevensville area and actually all the way back to Baton Rouge. That's due to rain. Just the rain that we've received in the past few weeks has been, you know, on the lines of once every 25 years. I know we keep saying that, and it keeps happening every year. So, you know, there's definitely changes in the weather patterns. What else? I know the drainage district put out for bid the last portion. Well, I say the last portion, one of the major portions of the Morgan City projects, which is the pump station. It did come in, I think, roughly about $2 million over what their anticipated cost was. They're looking to, you know, try to figure out some ways to cut costs and get that project going. The Lakeside project, we are getting close to having something to present. And again, we don't have funding for Lakeside yet. The state has stepped in and said, hey, you know, we're going to start looking for funding for that, but we don't have it at this point. So getting a plan in place is our biggest thing at this point. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's a lot going on in the Levee district. You know, we're constantly fighting high water. We're going to be in a much better position this year for hurricane season than we've been. And every year it gets better and better. So we're working hard to protect what's inside. We got to get more inside.
Okay. Well, that's a lot going on there, Mike. And we're very excited that you mentioned the Lakeside project, because that will give us that 100-year flood event protection and really some really good things going on. So thank you.
And just, I want to offer this again. I've offered it in the past to the school systems, to really anybody. You know, we live in one of the major water systems of the country and even the world for that matter. And a lot of people don't realize it. You know, we live here, we live behind these levees. You don't see them, you don't think about them. The water's high, oh, they close some gates. It's not a big deal. But what's really going on outside of our system, we are more than willing to share with the schools, you know, explanations, how things work, what's working, what's not, and not just schools, you know, to anybody. So if y'all need anything from us, just reach out. You know, y'all know I was a teacher, so I enjoy teaching as well. So definitely willing to pass that information on. Also, our webpage, smld.org. I keep it updated with the Bayou Teche and the Bayou Shane projects, as well as there's an interactive map on there. If you have questions about what the levee heights are in your area, where you live, what you're protected by, you can click on there and there's tons and tons of information. I know I pointed Carrie in that direction so that she could see. I know they were working on doing some boards at the visitor center with information. Spent a lot of time putting the history of our system together and just kind of dialoguing it, so that people really understand it's a big deal and we live amongst it. And we have the YouTube page that, again, it's St. Mary Levee District, but you can see the progress of all our projects as they go along.
Very, very good. I'm gonna have to check out that YouTube. I would like to see it in motion. Thank you, Mike.
Mike, Mike, we had one question: is where does the funding for the Lakeside Plan have to come from?
Really, it could come from anybody that's willing to put up the money. We're speaking to CPRA right now. I can't say they've promised us, but they are telling us that it is part of their upcoming funding, depending on what they get and things like that. So we're keeping the foot on the gas pedal with the planning and making sure that everything's ready for when they do say, hey, we're ready to go, that we're ready to go. Another thing that is, I think is fantastic is the Bayou Shane project was estimated to come in at about $80 million. We're hoping to be well under that, which could possibly also lead to some funding that we could use towards, things like Lakeside and stuff.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. How about the Port of Morgan City, Mr. Wade? And
I
Cindy.
think I'm going to do it instead. He keeps getting phone calls and stuff. So I volunteered. First of all, I'll give you a little bit on the river status. With dredging, there's a dredge that should be arriving at Stouts Pass, which is just above Morgan City. We've had a lot of problems with shoaling in that area. So they'll be doing a 5-mile stretch above us soon. We also have a dredge coming in probably late May, early June to clean out the sand in the channel, which would be a crew boat cut at Chaffalive Bay. And then finally, Bryce, who's working in the our bar channel that's handling the fluff, that's the specialty built dredge that's being used out there. They are progressing very well. They have reached their 20 feet, and now we're getting ready to go a little bit wider with the channel. We're authorized at 400 feet. They're working on 200 to 250 feet wide right now, so which would be great for bringing in ships and boats. The area, the little island that you see all the pictures in Berwick Bay is still there because of a lack of funding that has taken place, through the past dredging cycles. And there's some issues that people have expressed when they're trying to get sailboats and shrimp boats and that type of thing to the dock. There is a dredged pathway through there. And we've worked with DNR, Wildlife and Fisheries, the Corps of Engineers, the Coast Guard, to be able to set some buoys out in that area in order to direct the traffic that's coming in so that they don't end up on the island. We have gotten a temporary permit from the Coast Guard because normally it's about an 18-month process. So they're still working on the permanent permit, but we do have a temporary one. And as soon as those buoys come in probably late May, early June, then we will have some buoys up there. And what this means for us is that, we're all about resiliency and beneficial use of sediment and that type of thing, but we're also about a diversified economy. So we want to be able to support all of our local industries that use our waterway and also bring back shipping, import, export to our port. We have not been able to do that since early 2015 because we had to cease operations with that type of thing because of the waterway not being dredged properly. This will be the first time that we have a channel from Morgan City to the Gulf of Mexico open all the way. So we are planning, and we have been in the planning stages for some time and just kind of waiting for this to happen. We've been working with the Maritime Administration and with some of the ports along the Red River. And we'll be doing an event for shippers, introducing them to each of our ports and to the waterway, hoping to be able to establish some type of a service from inland from Morgan City and out to from the Gulf to Mexico or wherever. One other thing is that MAC, I think some of you know, was named or appointed to the Atchafalaya River Basin Restoration and Enhancement Task Force. Quite a diverse group of folks, all with a lot of different interests. And so what I will say about that is that he also attended the high water public meeting in New Orleans recently with the Corps of Engineers, and was talking about the task force, the issues in the basin, because guys, it's not just what's happening here in the river, here in Morgan City, it's everything that happens above us. And Mac met someone from the Arkansas Wildlife and Fish, and so this lady came to him after, and we've been speaking with her because we think that we need to join forces and everybody work on a solution up above in order for us to be able to survive here. So Mac, I see you're not on the phone. Do you want to add to that? Wait, you got to unmute. You got to unmute. There you go.
Okay. All right. No, Cindy, you're covering it all. And yeah, that the group Cindy was talking about out of Arkansas, they're talking, got concerns on the Washita. And like I say, that group among, it is, everything dumps through Morgan City. So we've got to just make sure we know what people are trying to do up above, because it does have an impact on us, and it's all got to be balanced out. You can't dump more on us that we can't take now. So with that, I'll close.
Thank you, and thank you for being our advocates. Your input was instrumental in meeting with the Water Institute. It remains instrumental in keeping that river tamed. Thank you.
By the way, I can't wait to tell my granddaughter that I'm on a YouTube video.
You can thank Catherine for that. Catherine and Margaret. Catherine, yep, good. All right, we're going to move on now to the Cajun Coast Visitors and Convention Bureau. Carrie?
Unmuted you, Carrie. There she goes.
Okay, here we go. So we have been working really hard within the parameters that we have with COVID. First of all, we are seeing a large increase in visitors to the Welcome Center. So that's the good news. The bad news is we don't have any people to work. We are reaching out to some of our former employees to see, what they can do. But when the government extended unemployment, of course, they're making more money on unemployment, so it's hard to get these workers. Secondly, we are working on the promotion this month for May is called Bayou Shopping Days. It's May 1st to May 30th, and we've contacted most of the boutique shops for retail in St. Mary Parish. We have tried to categorize or put some volume in each city. So Franklin is May 1st. They're doing a music series, and they have a bunch of vendors on the first Saturday of the month. And so that's May 1st. And then the second Saturday of the month, we're highlighting Morgan City. We've got the print shop that's doing some artists. Francis with the Wildflower is going to do something. We've got Derek Anselm singing. There's going to be a pop-up shop at the hairdressers downtown on Front Street. In Berwick is the third Saturday, and Colleen, we've worked really hard with Colleen. They're going to do a market in the morning, and they're going to do tours in the afternoon to the Brown House. Colleen is going to do a pop-up shopping at her place at the old building in the afternoon. Bayou Lanyap has offered to open up. On the Morgan City one, Brian with Cafe JoJo's is going to open up to martinis in the afternoon and snacks. Bayou Lanyap is going to be open in Berwick. And also Colleen's going to have her building open that night with specialty martinis, including the Lighthouse. And then the 4th, we're going to have yoga too. Anytime Fitness has 2 ladies with yoga who are going to do yoga at the lake on the 2nd and 3rd. The 2nd and the 4th Saturday of the month. So we're really excited about everything that's going on. And we hope we have a passport and you can go to all these shops and get stamps. The next month we're going to be working on is a restaurant promotion from the entire parish. So we're currently working on that. So get ready to share that information. As Mike alluded to, we're trying to apply through the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area, and you all can, there are grants that you all can apply for. Also on that Atchafalaya National Heritage Area, there are also various grant opportunities on different projects. It's sort of a resource for grants, but we're trying to do a grant application to do a Levee interpretive panel at our building in the front. And in the back, do an interpretive panel on what you see. We've been getting a lot of birders, and we have this alligator that stays here all the time. So we're doing that. The other thing is I would love to see, and I've been thinking about it. I just hadn't had a chance to talk to either one of them, but I would love to see some interpretive panels on the river in Morgan City and Berwick. And so if you're on, and I need to talk to Mayor Dragna about this because I don't know if the Corps will allow it. But so say you at the top of the levee at the railing, and you would have this panel and you would look at Berwick, and it would talk about the Lighthouse and Brown House and the history of Berwick. And then when on the Berwick side, you would have a panel where you're looking at the river, and it would talk about Morgan City, the Civil War things that went on, and the Mr. Charlie. And I thought that would be something kind of cool to do on each side. So you're promoting each community when you visit that one community. So that's something. Those panels are not cheap, but if we could all agree, if Berwick could submit a grant application, Morgan City submit a grant application, and I submit a grant application, we might have a better chance of getting some funds on that. But we certainly can all work together to do that. Also, I know that the mayors, I didn't get a chance to talk to them, got some of that. We're getting some COVID money, which the tourist commissions are not getting anything at this point. And we had done a plan for attraction signage. And maybe that might be something that if you all have some COVID money for tourism, that would be a great way that we could spend that I can help you spend those funds, but that would benefit your communities from a tourism standpoint. Also, I've spoken to, I know Margaret and Kelly. I've loved the environment. If I could go back to college, I would go back to environmental biology, although I don't know if I'd pass. But I love the arts, and I love when I go to aquariums, when I see sort of these sculptures on litter and the reuse of that, and combining art and litter, and have this message on keeping our environment clean. And so I'm trying to get with Nichols. I talked to Kelly. She and I have had some conversations about trying to get Nichols. I know that Betnep is interested, but seeing if we can get the art students at Nichols sort of do a fundraiser on Front Street in Morgan City, have these sculptors come out, have Betnep do a litter cleanup. The students would come in and they'd pick certain amounts of litter and they would create the sculpture. We would have a night, sort of maybe a fundraiser, have some food, have some music, and have sort of this open art market. Kelly has also brought up the idea about students. I got on the school board, and there's something outreach or something. Joe, you might know what I'm talking about. But they had a sewing or a fashion design class, and also there was a summer fashion design class. And so maybe we can get those art students and those fashion design students to recycle the artwork, and we can do maybe a style show in Morgan City on the walk trail, maybe the same night, maybe the same week, maybe the next weekend or so. So I love combining this artwork with the environment and having a real message on that. And all of these, NOAA, in this process, I showed Kelly, NOAA is very big on education and with the students. And so this might be something that we could really, sort of promote and get on board before NOAA makes its decisions on where they're going to put the NER project.
Oh, that's a lot
And I
going
think that
on.
concludes.
Yeah.
Miss Monica, Michael wanted to add in on something with Carrie's updates. Michael, I just unmuted you. Go ahead. Oh, shoot. I think I muted you back. There you go.
Just an update. I know Carrie knows about this. We have the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. I don't know. It's a walking path out at Yellow Bayou off of Alice C. Road, and we've discussed for many years about making it a bike trail from that area, which is just off of Highway 317 in Centerville, all the way back to the Franklin Canal boat launch. Brian Pember with U.S. Fish and Wildlife reached out to me earlier in the month concerning that. It's kind of been held up. We put together an MOU, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife just kind of it disappeared somewhere in their red tape. I am speaking with our attorneys to see if it's something that we can push through even without them. But I'll say this: we can call it a bike trail. I invite people to go out there and take a ride and go check it out. The grass may be a little high right now. They're making their way that way now, but yeah, go try it. Nobody's going to run you off on a bicycle. Hey,
you're not going to believe this. I actually pulled that MOU like this week, and I hadn't thought about it in months.
Well, and
I actually pulled it.
It reminded me that Brian and I had started a conversation at the beginning of the month, and I just got sidetracked. I just sent it back to him, sent it to Bill Bourgeois to take a look at and see if there's anything we can do without having them have to sign it. I know we do have that power to turn things into biking, hiking trails. I know the West Atchafalaya Basin Levee, I believe from Opelousas all the way down to Centerville, is considered a biking, hiking trail. So yeah, it's out there. One other thing you brought up was the I don't know, the garbage art, the litter art or whatever. I'm always amazed at how much stuff floats up against the levees during high water. And I'm sure if some artist, I could give them one spot and say, here, you get a random things from driftwood to there's even a slide from someone's playset in one area. So if anybody's interested in that, I've got plenty of places they can look at.
That's awesome.
Rich discussion there. Excellent. Thank you all for sharing those resources. Catherine, your hand is up. Does that mean you want to get in or?
Just for a second, that's it, Mike and Carrie. That's your assignment. You can set up an art festival and invite all the artists to come down and designate spots along the levee for them to collect the trash and create art.
I can give them location. I mean, again, I know plenty of locations we can go to. And on the birding side of things, it has amazed me how many times I come across people just riding around, a lot of times on Cotton Road in Patterson with their cameras and stop and ask them, hey, what are y'all doing, and seeing what they do. And it's pretty neat.
All right, well, good. All right, we're going to go on to the St. Mary Parish Chamber of Commerce. And as we do that, as we're getting her unmuted, an important announcement from Cindy is that the Chapelai River Basin Restoration Group is going to be in the Command Center on May 4th at 9 a.m. I know I'm going to be there. Very important group, and it is open to the public. May 4th, 9 a.m., important meeting at the port.